Opening, the challenge of creating perfection. Hello, my fellow breeders. Welcome once again to our space, Canaral Santos Costa. Have you ever wondered what truly defines a perfect canary? The answer, for many, is hidden in a story of controversy and passion that shocked the world of ornithology. Today, get ready to meet the unlikely canary, the Spanish masterpiece that defied the rules and was almost forgotten. In this video, we'll dive into the incredible journey of the Spanish Llarguet Canary, from its birth in clandestine breeder labs to its global recognition. You'll uncover the dark secrets behind its creation, the epic battles that shaped its standard, and the controversy that made it Europe's most fascinating breed. And at the end, we'll reveal the one detail that transformed it into a true icon. It's a story of perseverance, passion, and, most of all, the power of challenging the established. So, get your front row seat. Watch until the very end, because every minute reveals a new twist. And to make sure you don't miss a single detail, subscribe to the channel right now and leave a like. It's a small gesture, but it's what allows us to keep exploring these incredible and shocking stories from the world of ornithology. Origins, from the Canary Islands to the beginning of everything. The Llarguet story doesn't begin on the Iberian Peninsula, but rather in the mysterious Canary Islands, the birthplace of our beloved birds. Picture this. In the 20th century, Spanish breeders, fascinated by the elegance of the unregistered canaries coming from these islands, decided to bring some to the mainland. These birds, despite not having an official standard, already stood out for their elongated silhouette and unique posture. That's where the challenge began. Visionary breeders, especially in the Valencia region, started a meticulous selection process. They crossed these island canaries with other established breeds, aiming to fix what they considered the most promising characteristics: the slim body, the oval head, the elegant neck, and, above all, the upright stance. However, this quest for perfection was not easy. Back then, there were no manuals or today's technology. Everything was done based on observation, patience, and, frankly, a lot of trial and error. They worked like artists, sculpting the breed they had in mind, but without knowing if this masterpiece would be accepted by the community. What they didn't know was that this solitary journey was about to lead to one of the biggest shocks in the history of ornithology. First mistakes. The canary that was almost a failure. Despite all the passion and dedication, the first years of the Llarguet's creation were a roller coaster of failures. Many of the canaries resulting from the crossbreeding had unwanted characteristics: excessive plumage, short bodies, or postures that were completely off the mark. The breed was at risk of becoming just a curiosity, a footnote in the history of ornithology. To make matters worse, there was a brutal division in the breeding community. On one side, the purists, who defended the classic standard and saw the Llarguet as an aberration. On the other, the innovators, who believed in the vision of a new breed but struggled to prove its worth. The tension was real, and the Llarguet's future depended on one risky step. It was then that a group of breeders, in an act of desperation and genius, made a decision that would change everything. They started crossing the best specimens with each other, in a kind of calculated inbreeding. They believed that by concentrating the genetic material of the most promising birds, they could fix the desired characteristics once and for all. This was a make-or-break moment. They would either create the perfect breed or drive it to extinction. The revolution, the breeder who broke the rules. The game-changer came with a visionary breeder who, tired of the failures and opposition, decided to break all the rules. He refused to follow what the ornithological community considered correct at the time. Instead of focusing solely on plumage and color, he concentrated all his energy on a single characteristic that others were neglecting: body posture. He argued that the true elegance of the Llarguet was not in its static appearance, but in its ability to pose. The goal was to create a canary that projected forward, forming a 60-degree angle, as if always in a stance. This was a revolutionary, yet extremely risky, concept. To achieve it, he had to ignore existing standards and focus on selecting specimens with longer legs and a more slender neck, defying traditional aesthetics. And the gamble paid off. After years of silent work, he presented a new generation of Llarguet canaries that were simply stunning. They weren't just beautiful, they were different. The posture he had envisioned was finally fixed, and with that, the Llarguet was freed from the shadows of its initial failures. The unlikely canary was ready for its rise, But the battle was far from over. The controversy: why did the crest disappear? The story of the Llarguet's crest is one of the most shocking and controversial chapters in Spanish ornithology. As I mentioned, in the early years of the breed, it was common to find specimens with crests. They were displayed in competitions and, for many, were proof of the breeder's success. But, all of a sudden, something unexpected happened. The crest was abolished. The reasons behind this decision still generate heated debate. The most accepted theory is that the crest, despite being visually appealing, started to be seen as an obstacle. It masked the beauty of the neck, which was one of the focal points of the new standard, and in some cases, it compromised the bird's vision and well-being. The technical commissions, pressured by the new school of thought, made the drastic decision to ban the crest, forcing breeders into a new and painful selection process. This was a moment of great sadness and frustration. Many breeders saw years of their work ignored by a decision that seemed arbitrary. The Llarguet's lost crest became a symbol of the sacrifice the breed had to make to adapt to the new times and, finally, be officially recognized. It was a high price to pay for acceptance, and for a long time, it seemed that the crest would forever be a memory of the past. The Renaissance, the journey of a canary back to the top. After years of adaptation and the controversial abolition of the crest, the Llarguet canary finally received its much-deserved official recognition. In 1997, the Spanish Ornithological Federation, FOCDE, officially recognized it as a posture breed for Spain. And the major victory came in 2003, when the Llarguet was finally recognized by the COM at the World Championship in France. The canary that was almost a failure was now an international star. But the Llarguet story is far from linear. One of the most respected breeders, Luis Mengual, never forgot the lost crest. In an act of pure passion and stubbornness, he decided to start a new project on his own, reintroduce the crest to the breed, but in a way that wouldn't compromise the official standard. He knew he was treading on dangerous ground and that the community could become divided again. This silent and tireless work resulted in a new lineage of crested Llarguets that caught the world's attention. In 2021, the Club Amigos del Llarguet made an official proposal to the COM for the crest to be re-evaluated and possibly readmitted into the standard. The crest's renaissance isn't just about aesthetics. It's about honoring the breed's original history and proving that it's possible to have the best of both worlds. The secret standard: what defines the Spanish masterpiece? Now that you know the story of sacrifice and overcoming adversity, it's time to understand what makes the Llarguet a true masterpiece. Why, after all, is this canary so special? The answer lies in the details of its standard, which are much more than simple aesthetics. The first secret is the body posture. The Llarguet must have an upright stance, forming a 60-degree angle. It's not a canary that just stands still. It displays itself, projecting its neck and head forward in a majestic way. This is the most important point of its standard. The second secret is in its silhouette. The body should be elongated, slightly cylindrical, and slender. There are no prominences on the chest or back, which gives it the appearance of a continuous line, a true bar of elegance. Its wings are long and perfectly aligned with the body, without crossing, and its tail is long and forked, ending in an elegant M shape. And, of course, we can't forget the head. It is small and oval, set off by a medium, slender neck, which further enhances the breed's graceful posture. Each of these characteristics was carefully selected to create a unique and unmistakable look. Visual details: why the cylinder is key. If you want to distinguish a Llarguet from other breeds, the answer isn't in the color of its plumage, but rather in its shape. The essence of this Spanish masterpiece is its body, a form that resembles a perfect cylinder. This is the most important visual detail and, for many judges, the decisive criterion in competitions. The Llarguet's plumage is a chapter in itself. It must be short, smooth, and very compact. Unlike other breeds with voluminous plumage, in the Llarguet, the feathers must adhere to the body to highlight its cylindrical silhouette. Any extra volume in the plumage is considered a serious defect. It's as if nature designed the bird in a way that doesn't hide its skeletal and muscular structure. And speaking of structure, the way the legs and thighs fit into the body is also fundamental. The legs are long, which contributes to the upright posture, and the thighs should be visible but covered by short feathers. This attention to the smallest details shows the level of perfection that the original breeders and those of today still seek. It's not just a bird, it's a living sculpture, a work of ornithological art. The future, the new characteristics in play. If you think the Llarguet story is over, you are very wrong. The breed, despite being officially recognized, is in constant evolution, and the most audacious breeders are not satisfied. The future of the Llarguet is being written now, and 2 new characteristics are under discussion to be added to the standard. The first, and most controversial, is the return of the crest. As you know, it was abolished years ago, but the proposal to reintroduce a new type of crest, one that doesn't harm the bird's vision and complements its elegance, is gaining momentum. If it's accepted, we'll have a new version of the Llarguet, honoring its origins. The second is the introduction of new color varieties. The current standard accepts a wide variety of colors, but some breeders are experimenting with genetic mutations to produce even rarer and more vibrant colors. The goal is to expand the breed's visual appeal without compromising its perfect form. These discussions show that the world of ornithology is a living organism, and that the breeder's passion is the true engine of its evolution. The Llarguet story is a testament that perfection is not a destination, but a continuous journey, where each generation of breeders contributes to its legacy. Conclusion: the legacy of an unlikely breed. The story of the Spanish Llarguet Canary is much more than the evolution of a bird. It's a life lesson. It's a testament that the perseverance and passion of a group of breeders can, in fact, create something extraordinary from an unlikely beginning. The Llarguet is a living reminder that beauty lies in uniqueness, in the elegance of a posture that defied all conventions. Its journey, marked by failures, controversies, and a renaissance, shows that the greatest works of art are not always born ready, but are shaped by dedication and time. And that's the big message I want to leave with you, my fellow breeders. Continue to seek excellence. Don't be afraid to innovate, to question the status quo, and to fight for what you believe in. The next masterpiece may be born in your aviary, and its story deserves to be told. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be part of this journey and to leave a like if the Llarguet story inspired you. Happy breeding, and a big hug to all.